Jonathon Bird joining us here in the barn on Parkland Sports Live and Knuckleball Prime Time. You might be watching the pregame show, Farmington against Central, or just watching this on Knuckleball Prime Time. Jonathon Bird, the offensive coordinator for the Farmington Knights. The offense really started cranking there about mid-season. We looked for a few points last week, didn't come through, but we'll kind of talk about the ebbs and flows of the offense and the season as it goes along. But all told, how do you feel like the season has gone so far, Coach?
I mean, I think it's gone pretty well. We just had some turnover up front, and we knew we were going to have some skill guys come back. So, we were pretty excited, skill player wise, and I think we've kind of figured out who we were going to plug in up front, and I think we've got a lot of guys that have been in the system for a while that understand what we're doing, and we had the ball rolling there for a little bit. Saw a couple good defenses last couple weeks, but we're going to try and get the ball rolling against Park Hills.
You guys really had the offense cranked up, the late score to beat St. Clair, to beat Bluff, against Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were awesome on offense. Against Union, you were rolling. Is it just too simplified to say, well, it was the opponents the last couple of weeks, or did you see something from the offense that you said, guys, we need to improve a little bit here?
A little bit, it is kind of what the defense has given us, week in, week out. I'm sure we can say that every week, but, I do think, I think once we get the ball rolling, with the option, as soon as we figure out, who we need to pitch off of and, figure out who to block on certain plays, I think, especially out on the perimeter, once we get that ironed out, I think week in, week out, we've got the chance to, do things that we were doing, midway through the season. And I just think again, as soon as we figure that out as a staff, whether that's Sunday meetings or, even, during the game, once we get it ironed out and, tell the guys, where to go, I think, the offense has a chance to be pretty explosive week in, week out.
With the timing and the decision-making that it takes to really find that optimal gear in a triple option, what's it mean for a senior like Brett that really has kind of 3 years of starting experience to be the trigger man for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, he's one of those guys, that we were excited about coming back. He had a really good spring, in terms of track and our football workouts. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that's, even as a senior has really, has that buy-in. We talk about guys senioring up. I think Brett's been one of those guys to senior up, and he's really taken, a big step, in both the run game and the pass game.
I remember having him on and interviewing him out here, and he was thinking back to when he was first starting. He goes, I was like $140. Now I'm, 180. And so, physically, he's a different guy than he used to be, too.
Yeah, no, for sure. He does a really good job in the weight room. The chance, I get to see them a lot during the summer in the weight room, and, just, seeing what he does in the weight room, I think, a lot of the guys really feed off that, kind of see the weight that he's throwing around, and kind of they kind of say, well, shoot, our quarterback's doing this, our quarterback's doing that. Maybe I need to start throwing some weight on what I'm doing too. So, Brett's been a pleasure. Even for especially the last 3 years, but this year for sure.
I mean, it had to be gratifying to see your offense working at all three levels. McLean up the middle. People didn't really want to tackle him for a while, and then you've got Brett. He can go the distance on a keeper, and you've really found something with McCarthy on the edge when you get to that third level. Yeah,
but no, for sure. I mean, he's the guy. Last year, even as a freshman, we were, just kind of trying to figure out ways how to get him on the field. He played a little bit more defense last year, but this year, just seeing him on the track as a freshman, we were excited, and and that's the thing, just like you said, with the offense that we run, we do kind of think of it like a three-headed monster, with Case and Brett, Josh, and even Connor Rice, and a few other of our wings.
So you're going to match wits with PJ Jones this week.
Yep.
Known for some great defenses at Central.
For sure.
What stands out when you take a look at that Central defense, and what will you see on the other side of the ball?
Week in and week out, and as the years have come and gone, you get to see, the adaptations that PJ makes, and in terms of just schematically, he's comfortable, with running what he runs, and then he's okay with kind of changing things up too. And that's a thing. As an offensive guy, in my mind, seeing someone defensively that's okay to stay in their base or change things up, comfortable doing both. He's a guy that's it's given us fits in the past. With kind of what with what the answers that he gives us, and then we always have to find different answers for that as well. We always seem to make minor 2-3 minor adjustments every year against Park Hills, and again, that's just a testament to Coach Jones.
So you graduated in 2011. Your final football year was 2010.
Yep.
You were a 3-sport standout at Farmington. Went on to go play college football in Mill Valley.
Yes,
if I remember right.
Yep.
But that was the time that Farmington had broken away from the conference and went to the SEMO North and didn't play Central for a while. In fact, you didn't play Central when you were in high school.
No, not in football.
But I'm glad the series is back as a local football fan. I think it's a blast to watch the game, to call the games. Is the Central game, a big rivalry, even though it was missing for a while?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's we have our our inter-county rivals, North County and Park Hills, obviously, just seeing them on the schedule, week in, week out, North County's been week 1 for a few years, and Park Hill's been week 9 for the last few years as well. So it's nice to kind of start and end the season with some rivalry games, to get the season going and then going into playoffs, hopefully on a high note.
Even though you didn't get to play them in football, though, when you were in high school, this was a Central game, whatever sport it might have been, a big game?
Oh, yeah, especially basketball. That's probably the biggest sport, that we played them in. Obviously we played them, I think, in just about any sport, but the basketball games were always pretty packed. They were pretty good at basketball when I was in school as well, so yeah, it was fun memories.
Are you one of the guys, since you have all the war stories from being a Farmington athlete, like, do you kind of pass those along to some of the guys or not? Sometimes
I feel like earlier in my coaching career, I used to talk about, back when I was playing, but the last couple of years kind of getting a bigger role. I think I've kind of toned that back just a little bit and try to be more coach than buddy, I think I guess I could say. But still throwing them in every once in a while. Hey, I guess now 13, 14 years ago, things are different,
But I talk to a lot of the players, and they always say that you're always such a positive influence and an uplifting guy to them as a coach.
I try to, I try to just, I remember back, I had a lot of the people that I consider role models, were coaches. Obviously just being in 3 sports, had a lot of coaches, that I was interactive with, and I know they meant and still do mean a lot to me. So I know what that value meant to me. So I try to be able to be that same person for our student athletes.
Who were some of those guys for you?
Derek Eves, he's now back at Farmington. Todd Vaughn, those 2 guys especially. Just
definitely
being
positive guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And both of them, they didn't have a problem, trying to light a fire under you every once in a while, but yeah, those guys especially, Coach Hibbets as well, being my position coach for all 4 years. Those guys, still have a positive impact in my life to this day.
So not a conference game this week, not a district game, but a rivalry game. But you guys are in that 4th spot in district right now. Imagine you kind of want to stay away from a Cardinal Riddle semifinal. I mean, it's a really important game in terms of district standings for you, isn't it?
It is, and we've talked as a staff, and we've kind of looked ahead, at other district schedules going into this week, and it is important, that we win, and with the added points, per margin of victory, right. We do, we understand the importance of trying to get to that 3rd seed, because we would like to see Cape again, in districts before potentially seeing Cardinal Ritter in the district championship.
The series, the kind of reignited series with Central, has been a close series in the last 7 tries. Yeah. Central's won the last 4, but you guys won 3 before that, so it's been really close in that respect. The games, though, haven't been super close. Yeah. The 2020 game was a field goal game, 17-14 over there. You guys won that one, but most of the other ones haven't really been that close. But I think this feels like it could be tonight.
Yeah, no, I do too. It helps, when a graduating class at Park Hills is out of school now. It definitely helps. But Park Hills still has dudes there. Again, we've had to rack our brains offensively, defensively. They do a lot offensively. Personnel wise, formation wise. That if we're not disciplined defensively, could give us fits. And then offensively, kind of same thing, we touched on it earlier about PJ. We always are having to make adjustments in game, what we do throughout the week. And then again, in game, we're always having to make adjustments for what PJ gives us defensively. This
has been a game traditionally late in the season is when it's been played. We know Corey Schweiss's playbook is huge, and he throws some stuff in that you. How about you guys? Are you saving a little in the back of the playbook for this game? Maybe we'll see a few things.
I mean, there's a chance, but at the same time, we come in on Sundays and we talk. We really like personnel. We really like our guys. We like our personnel groups that we have out there. And we're kind of in the boat of, so long as we can take care of the box, so long as we understand who our reads are, we do like what we run, and, we do like kind of not necessarily sticking with the playbook, but at the same time, just a few wrinkles on a couple plays, going into the weekend. We try to make those wrinkles week in and week out too. We try to install, a variation of one of our plays week in and week out. And, we try to get out on the field, 2-3 times a game. But I think this week may be a week where, we feel comfortable with just kind of lining up and taking care of, what we need to take care of.
You have the same keys on the board every week, or are they different?
Again, kind of depends on how the game Friday goes, but, for the most part, our keys don't change a whole lot. Just depending on what, defense we get, it changes our reads, but not necessarily the keys week in and week out. So week in, week out, our keys probably do typically stay the same. Our goals week in and week out typically stay the same. But again, like I say, or like I've said multiple times, our meetings on Sundays, if we feel that a key needs to change, or, in our scouting reports, we'll make an adjustment when need to.
What are some of those goals? I know you have turnover goals, you have yardage goals, you have different things like that. Can you share any of that with us?
One goal that, that we really like to use, and it's, a goal that, so long as we hit it, it typically ends up being a win for us, is, 4+ yards on first down.
Huge for you guys.
Yeah. Absolutely. With the offense that we run, we have a certain percentage that we try and hit. And, the weeks that we hit that percentage, more often than not, they end up in wins. Obviously we have 3rd and 4th down conversion goals that we try to meet, and a couple explosive passing goals that we try to meet. And again, those are, you can, look if you look at the score and then look at the goals week in and week out, typically the wins correlate with if we've hit those goals or not.
So somebody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
On your staff, whoever's doing that.
I mean, I'd like to think so. Again, we've got a few guys, that the offense leans on. Myself, Coach Schrader, Coach Brumfield. He has some pretty good insight as well. For only being on staff for the last couple of years, he's a pretty good football mind coming over from cross country. But he's got a pretty good football mind as well. And Coach Schrader's been around football in multiple states. And I think just the meshing of the minds, I think, really works.
Favorite piece of memorabilia in the barn?
I saw it as soon as I came around that Troy Polamalu jersey. I am a Steelers fan.
Me too.
Yep.
Love Polamalu. Yeah.
Since the first game I watched, I think it was I was 7 or 8. My dad's a Chiefs fan, so the first game he turned on was Chiefs Steelers, and the Steelers ended up winning, and they've been my favorite team ever since.
Right.
So yeah,
my language, cool. All right. Well, we can credit Chad Winch for the environment around here.
Oh yeah, I do like that.
Farmington Knights flag.
Yeah. Fridays are for the Knights. Yeah, I like that. I like that. No, it's really pretty awesome. I've watched some of the interviews before, and I get to try and see like, oh, there's a couple nice things in here, but walking in here, it's an awesome venue you guys have.
Chad, I think we've got a different answer to that question all year. Yep. I don't think haven't had an identical answer, so I like the Polamalu.
I do like that Sean Kemp jersey too. That's nice. That's nice.
Multi-sport guy. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Jonathon Bird, offensive coordinator for Farmington, joining us right here on Knuckleball Prime Time here in the barn. And you might be watching us on Parkland Sports Live on our pregame show. It's Farmington and Central, week number 9 of the football season.